what has been happening before the MCO, and then what has happened during the MCO.
Well, I mean, prior to the MCO, really, in the retail, I mean, I can't speak for all. From the retail perspective, what was really happening in the market was a lot of external frictions. In the sense, there was a lot of uncertainty in the market moving in end 2019. So retailers weren't really getting a lot of business towards the end. It was a very quiet CNY because by I think end December, COVID had already hit many of the parts of China, and of course, Chinese are one of the major tourists coming out of their country to our country, basically the whole world. So when it came early January, there was already a slowdown in the retail market from the perspective of without the Chinese tourists, it's going to be very quiet. So once the pandemic fully hit, that's where we, of course, most retails were shut down, except for maybe some of my clients like Jaya Grocer, who were essential businesses, and they carried on. So really, all in all, I think the retail market it's gone from, to a certain extent, bad to right now really bad. Coming up post MCO, there is also still a lot of uncertainty in the market. For many of the retailers, both the retail and the mall managements that I've been speaking to, the consensus is that everyone's extremely careful with what they want to do. All expansions on hold. Whatever they were planning to revamp their stores are also on hold. And I think the mall management as well, they're struggling to try to get tenants not to leave the market, to be honest. Especially when it's coming time for their renewals, for an extension of the period. A lot of businesses are really looking at this opportunity to really, the word I would use is they're looking to streamline their operations. A lot of them see a bigger opportunity to go online now. So they're really kind of in their mind thinking about whether they should continue being a brick and mortar business or they should be fully online.
What's happening in the hotel side so far?
Okay, based in KK Sabah, they depend most of the tourists from China and Korea. So during CNY, we still had a lot of Chinese in the city, and you can only start to see the reduction of tourists only actually early March only. So there was still a lot of activities happening, but everybody was taken aback when the border was closed. So Sabah was one of the earliest to close the border to the Chinese market and Korean market. So that took the hotels by surprise here, and they were not really prepared for what's going to happen actually. So it was in a very difficult situation to assess the business level moving forward for the first few weeks actually. So that's what happened. And I think later on it spilled over to West Malaysia when the number of flights started to reduce actually.
Okay. So how the hotel industry right now at the moment?
At the moment, it's reopening slowly, but at a very, very, very low occupancy of between 5 to 10% only, because it's currently focusing. They can only focus on the domestic tourism, and the other thing is that's not helping the cash flow is also because of the room rates have actually gone very, very low actually. So 5-star hotel rates have actually dropped way, way below. So you can get a room stay in a 5-star hotel between 200 ringgit to 300 ringgit in Sabah at this moment. And in West Malaysia, you can get even less than 200 ringgit for a night stay without breakfast. So rates are being thrown at the moment by most of the hotels is just to keep the business afloat. And at the same time, the usual cost-cutting measure is taking place where reductions in salary of up to 50% is going on, and unpaid leave of up to 3 months is going on at the moment.
All right. Thanks, Munis, for the feedback. And Gin Hai, you have seen a lot of businesses from various industries, right? So what has been really going on from what you see?
Yeah, thanks, Vyasa. I think at the beginning of the year, as Tim said, there was some uncertainty. And of course, before that, towards the end of last year, some people were already talking about potentially there's a global recession coming. So there was some small signs, but yet the uncertainty. So I think there were two camps, you know. One camp was the more pessimistic people, or doom and gloom, we better get ready kind of thing. And then the other camp is like, well, I make my own future. I don't care about this. I don't believe this thing is going to happen. And then, but nobody was prepared when COVID came in, right? Yeah, and especially it was literally like 36 hours notice that we're going to shut everything down. And most people were not able to do anything within those 36 hours to plan. And of course, what made it worse was it was only a 2-week shutdown at first.
Yes.
Yeah. So most people are like, okay lah, tahan for 2 weeks. Let's just, make some dalgona coffee and whatnot. Post on social media. Okay lah, spend some time with my family, all this type of thing. Catch up on some reading, do some decluttering at home, and then after that, announce another 2 weeks. And then people started to go, hey, this is a bit serious. 1 month no business. And then it just kept on getting extended, and that's when people started realizing, oh, shoot, I better do something. And then after that, not realizing what they could do, right? And then with all the incentives and stuff like that, and then people panicking and like, can I not get, and all the worries. And I think, so a lot of businesses were really caught unprepared. And here in Malaysia, I think our economy has been fairly steady for the last 10 years, give or take a little bit. And so most SMEs, just a little bit less profit, a little more profit, but no real major doom and gloom situation. But this one really caught them off guard. Most of them, according to the research, was like they only have like 2 to 3 months, and in fact, some of them only have 1 month of surplus. So that, I think, was a really hard situation for them to get through. And I think that's the major concern that I have is about the SMEs, the micro SMEs, and also those who are self-employed, who tend to, kais pagi, makan pagi kind of thing. And so now with this current situation where it's gone into the so-called recovery mode, there's a lot of optimism. But I think after 2 weeks of the so-called recovery mode, we're seeing that for some businesses, they do see an upsurge and things are starting to get back to closer to the previous levels. But for many other businesses out there, and I think especially non-essential B2B businesses, they're seeing that still business is very, very slow because many people are being careful with their spending because they don't know how long this is going to last. So that's kind of the situation as I see it right now. Yeah.